Hey everyone, okay, so today's video is on skin minimalism, skin realism, creating a skin that looks truly like skin, like you've just woke up in the morning and you look absolutely glorious and heavenly. And that's what I want to do in this video, is create something just dreamy and dewy and beautiful and natural while still looking completely edible and gorgeous. So in this video, I'm going to be using on my skin Nude by Nature, which is an award-winning cruelty-free mineral makeup brand. They are PETA certified. They are just the most incredible brand. I love mineral makeup, and this is by far my favorite of all the mineral makeups I've ever tried. We're talking 100% natural ingredients, sustainably sourced. It's just an all-round amazing makeup line. There are no chemicals, no synthetics, nothing like that in Nude by Nature makeup, so that it's working with your skin and not against it, because oftentimes people can have very, very sensitive skin, and you know, mineral makeup, especially this, it doesn't irritate the skin because all the irritants that you sometimes find in other mineral makeup brands are gone here. And as I mentioned, it's good for all skin types, but if you are sensitive or you have problem skin, or if you're mature skin and you're frightened of trying a mineral makeup, which a lot of people can be, this isn't an issue, especially if you use the primer, because the primer just makes everything glide on. And this makeup also doesn't emphasize pores, which again, some mineral makeups can. And this is Australia's #1 mineral makeup. And I completely understand why, because I love it. They're affordable prices. You get a lot of product in here as well for your money, which is brilliant, because we all want something for our money, right? When we're buying a product. And this product is also now available in Superdrug, which is amazing that we can find this products here in the UK in Superdrug. It's just great. And it's great that they're bringing more natural brands into the marketplace so we can get to pick and choose. So there you go. Let me get on with this gorgeous look. And also, if you use my code, We Love Wayne, and who wouldn't, who doesn't, you get 10% off everything. So let's make a start on creating a flawless look. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is start with a primer. And you don't have to use primer, but I just think it's really, really nice because it gives an even more kind of flawless look. Even though the makeup in general it doesn't emphasize pores, and a lot of mineral makeups can, but this doesn't. But the primer just really ensures this kind of poreless, flawless finish. And I like to just apply it everywhere. Now for the outside portion of the skin, I'm actually going to use the Illuminator. And because this look is, you're really just cheating that kind of, you know, I just woke up looking absolutely gorgeous kind of look. So I'm going to take a small amount of the luminizer, and I'm just going to place it around the outside portion of the face, because this is where I want there to be a little bit more of that kind of dewy finish. So just that outside portion, nothing else. So we're going to do a little bit of underpainting, which I haven't done for a while. So you can use a liquid or a cream concealer. I'm actually going to use the cream concealer. And I'm going to kind of just dot this on the skin where I want there to be light. So I'm going to dot it in the center here, a little bit on the bridge of the nose, always on the inner corner of the eye, because that just looks so pretty and awake. And anywhere where there is a little bit of excess shadows. And I'm going to blend this in with my finger. Just pat it in. You want it to almost disappear because you're really just trying to create a bit of underbase with this, a little bit of light in those very key areas, because you just want it to kind of poke through. So just smooth it in with your finger. And the concealer can be used before or after mineral foundation. It really doesn't matter. It works both ways beautifully. So I'm going to start with the foundation. And we're just going to buff it all on. Actually, do you know what we're going to do? We're going to start with a bronzer, because I've just decided that I think it would actually look quite nice if you have that kind of slightly touched by the sun skin, and I think that would look great. So I'm going to start with the bronzer, and I'm going to be using Bondi Bronze. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a relatively large brush, and when it comes to bronzer, I always like to start on the neck. So I don't want too much product because I just want it to be a light sun-kissed effect. So I'm just going to take a little bit and just blend that on the neck, just to warm the neck up ever so slightly. It just warms things up. Now, I like to do a lot of things kind of underneath, underneath the foundation, because I like things to look like they're just sort of popping through the skin. So that's why I kind of like to do this underpainting first, and also add a little bit of color to the skin first, so it really kind of goes through. So I'm going to use Pink Lily blusher, and I'm just going to take this, and I'm going to use this in a relatively strong concentration of color. So don't be scared, because it's not going to look like this. Now, where I want this color to be is I want it to be across the bridge of the nose and the sides of the nose. I want that area to be kind of kissed by the sun. And then I'm just going to go in this kind of semicircle here. I know it looks a bit weird, but you know me, you know that it's going to turn out to be absolutely glorious. And then I'm just going to take this right here at the upper part of my hairline, right here, right? Because that is where the sun would catch me personally. And this is going to look great. So now we're going to move on to the foundation. And the foundation, now I've tried so many mineral foundations, and I spoke about this last year. And what makes this foundation so incredible is that it can look like nothing on the skin, and it doesn't accentuate pores or, wrinkles or lines or just anything that we would rather not have. So I'm just going to take a brush and I'm going to dip it in, and then I'm just going to buff all of this into one. So you can start wherever you want to start. It really doesn't matter. A lot of people like to start in the center of the face. It doesn't matter. I just like to get some product on, and then I just like to start to buff it onto the skin. And you can instantly see, not only does the skin look glorious, but that underpainting goes away. It starts to become a part of the skin, which is exactly what I want. I really want you to kind of have that kind of skin that you always long for when you wake up in the morning. You just want to look in the mirror and go, oh, that looks delicious. And that's what we want from this tutorial, to really fake that beautiful sun-kissed, dewy skin. And the fact that this is a mineral foundation, the fact that, with a mineral foundation in general, I always think that they're one of the few foundations that you really can apply with your eyes closed, because as long as you keep buffing, it's going to blend into pretty much anywhere on your skin. And that's the beauty and why I've always loved mineral foundations. And somebody with facial hair, it doesn't actually get stuck in it either. It just blends into the skin underneath it. And I've applied a really, really light coverage here on my face. And any other areas where I may need a little bit more coverage, I can just go over those areas. But I'm just making sure that all of that stuff that was on top of the skin is now a part of the skin, yeah? And you still get the illusion, you can still see that there was a little bit of color added, but it doesn't scream blusher or bronzer or anything like that. So going back in with my bronzer brush, without anything on there, I'm now just going to just very lightly touch those outside portions of my face, because I want this area to blend into this area here. But I don't want to add any more color to my brush, because it's a really lovely blusher that you don't need to use huge amounts of product to get a really pretty effect. And I'm just going to touch again just these areas. And I always take my foundation brush, the brush I used, and I just go over everything, because you don't want there to be any telltale signs. Now, if you think you need a little bit more blusher, you can just dip your brush straight back in, or use whatever's on there, and just reapply just a little bit more into those key areas if you just want to add a little bit more color, and then blend it in. Now, I don't want to do any highlighting with shimmers or anything like that, because this really is about that kind of, oh, I've just woke up and I look gorgeous kind of look. So even though I just said that, I still want to just go over a few fine details and just darken the lashes as well. So we use that concealer underneath, which looks great. It just brightens up shadowy areas. But I want to add just a touch more to the inner corners of the eyes. Now, there's lots of ways you can do this, but for this one, I'm actually just going to use a brush. And I'm going to take that same concealer, but I'm just going to use a little brush to just pick up some of that product so that I can apply it with slightly more precision to those inner corners. And you don't want to take a lot, but you just want to just touch that inner corner really, really gently. And then with your ring finger or any finger you wish, just blend it up and out. You just want that inner corner to look slightly lighter than the rest of your face. It just draws the eyes in towards you, and I love it. I think it is one of the prettiest things you can do to the inner corner of the eye, because it just looks so youthful. And where wrinkles and other things gather, they don't tend to gather in this inner portion of the eye. So you just look a bit divine. And I just think it just looks so lovely and awake, you know, like you look healthy with it. So all I'm going to do is just darken the lashes just marginally, and I'm just going to take off any excess mascara because I really don't want that. I mean, this is just, we're talking about a fraction, just to add a little bit of darkness, just a touch, okay? Just a touch. You remember, this is your natural, beautiful, naked face. And just to finish things off, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a setting spray and I'm just going to shield this front section of my face, and I'm just going to kind of spray just along the outside portion of the face. Okay, so just around the outside edges. And I'm going to take a powder puff with nothing on it, and I'm now going to press into the skin. So I'm pressing in that setting powder, that setting spray, and just really, with a relatively firm amount of pressure, just pressing it into the skin. It doesn't just ensure longevity, because mineral foundations are pretty good with longevity anyway, but is adding a little bit more luminosity to that outside corner of the face where we added that luminizer. And as the day goes by, this area will start to shine a little bit more than the rest of the face. I'm going to take a small amount of powder out and just powder the T-zone. So just a touch of powder, just a wee smattering of powder, right in the center, just where you would naturally get shiny. And that completes the look. Now, to me, this is what makeup is all about. It is healthy skin, beautiful looking skin, stunning skin that looks like there isn't anything on there. And you want people to say, your skin is amazing. And you go, I know, thank you. Now, that's kind of how I view makeup. That's how I think makeup should be. It should be about the skin, and then anything else you do, a red lip, a smoky eye, whatever it is, all of those things combined, they look beautiful on a canvas that looks so yummy and natural. There you go. Don't forget to use my code to get 10% off, and you get to create any look you want. And the thing I've always loved about mineral makeup is that it's so easy to customize it. Do you want it to be sheer? Do you want it to be full coverage? Do you just want to spot correct? It's so easy and way more forgiving than a lot of other brands on the market. And I've said it before at the beginning of the year, and I'll say it again. There is no doubt, of all the mineral foundations I've ever tried, Nude by Nature is by far the best foundation, which is why it's #1 in Australia. It is incredible. Thanks for watching. All the information in the description bar, and I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.